Guys, I share very powerful techniques in human engineering. How to appeal to people, how to speak to them, what language patterns to use when you speak to them, how to change people's beliefs, and how to basically deal with any kind of person or people. The thing is, I will be introducing 14 language patterns that human beings use. It's completely everything in our communication. That's the power that presidents use, like Putin, Barack Obama in his days. I mean, this is why they are able to convince a lot of people, and this is why they're able to get through to people's heads. Guys, I want to speak with you today on a very important topic that I want to introduce. So it's basically about human communication. Types of communication so that you can see them and maybe use them potentially to get the best result for your life. You see, when you talk to people, it's very important that you focus and keep the outcome in mind. When you talk to people, keep in mind what's the outcome and how to tailor your communication to achieve that outcome. What I'm about to show you right now is a powerful tool that can be used anywhere in life, at any situation, under any condition. Whether it's negotiation, you can harness and improve your skills. Whether it's a friend, whether it's a colleague, whether your work, whether you, in any moment or situation in life, you can decide how to handle any statement, any objection, anything that is being said to you. Use it carefully. I would assume that you are a person with good intention. So when people speak to you, they can either speak with you from a position of insecurity, weakness, seeking support, or they can speak with you from a position of authority, confidence, power, strength, regardless whether it's a positive or a negative thing. Now, your response can be also positive, or it can be destructive, negative. So when a person gives you their concern and you give them a positive response, that's a constructive conversation. It's the ones that friends have. For example, I would like take a deep look, read it, take your time. So the purpose of this is to build rapport, encourage growth, and emotional resilience. Next, the second part is when a person tells you something negative, when the person speaks with you from a place of insecurity, voicing their concerns, but for some reason decide to reply negatively. You don't reply or answer in a constructive way. It's called provocative conversation or provocative answer. For example, this answer could be used for getting under people's skin, hurting people, or being playful. There should be a reason for that. Like I said, when you speak to people, you must have a goal in mind. If it's a friend that always complains about their looks or that they are, unlucky or whatever, you can give them a negative response to get under their skin in hopes that even if they get upset, it will rouse their work on themselves and maybe stop complaining. So those are some of the examples. I also want you to take a careful and deep look. So purpose, like I said, it can trigger self-reflection or humor if done lightly, or risk creating tension or emotional hurt if overused. Okay, so this is the first one. The second type of communication is called, it's like a constructive, but it will be like a coexistent, like guru-like. For example, if people tell you something from a position of strength, like positivity, hope, right? And you answer, and you give them a similar answer. So let's say you are learning English, you're learning Spanish, your friend says they want to learn English and you say, hey, we could actually cooperate. So those are some of the examples for this type of conversation. So the purpose is to encourage collaboration and motivation and establish a positive atmosphere where everyone feels capable. Next. And the last one is very, very important. The last one is called destructive. This is when you use a language to undermine people's condescending statements or to confront their arrogance or to stop bullies or to resolve a conflict or to, basically to resolve any situation. So when a person speaks from a place of confidence, tells you something negative, condescending, trying to undermine your reply is going to be negative, aiming at destabilizing their psychological state, keeping in mind that you're using it carefully, you know who you're speaking to, and basically you're trying to dissolve or diffuse the situation, not to escalate it. This is very important. It's called combative language skills. When you deal with, let's say, noisy neighbors, or but you have to also keep in mind the way you respond is aimed at either diffusing their words, undermining their statement, or what. Like, you also have to keep in mind. So those are some of the examples that exist. So purpose is used to disarm or confront arrogance and should be used carefully to avoid escalating conflict. So those are the 4 types of communication. Now, we have the next part. The next part is 14 sleight of mouth language patterns. So first of all, before we go to the linguistic patterns, let's exercise with those statements, guys. I want you to give me an answer so that you practice your conversational skills, your negotiation skills. So let's say, imagine a friend of yours says the system is rigged. And they always keep saying that. And you don't know what's their purpose of saying that. And so your purpose to end this from happening again, or you don't want to hear it again, or maybe you're fed up, so you can use a provocative answer. You can say, yes, not only is it rigged, you are fucked. You basically say that. I mean, in a just giving them a taste of what they spread. Statement number 2. Or maybe you have a different answer. Maybe you have a different answer, guys. So please let me know in the comments. If people tell you that they are terrible at speaking in front of other people, so it's a position of, so it's either, look, if it's said from a position of weakness or insecurity, you can conform them as a friend. No, it's okay, first time is always, but if it's an excuse and they say it from a position of confidence and they're basically saying that as a rhetoric thing, as an excuse, then of course you can undermine this statement and you can basically say that's a solid excuse for someone who wants to rot in this in his comfort zone and stagnate, like stuff like that. So you can get them the negative response to undermine their sentence, but also to highlight the truth that you see. And this is exactly where linguistic patterns come handy. I used this language pattern, which is metaframe. So metaframe is basically calling the bullshit as you see it. Imagine you are the hermit, the grandfather, the wise man. You know the truth, assuming you know the person well, and you can basically see through their bullshit, and you can say it as you see it. You can call it as you see it, right? That's a great excuse just to keep rotting in this comfort zone that you have. Keep going. Don't stop, right? Or when people, when you try to warn them of something that they are yet to realize or yet to uncover. So you are like warning basically some people. That's the language that grandparents sometimes use. Maybe unknowingly, they don't know these language patterns exist. Robert Dilts have discovered those linguistic patterns, and this is basically everything that people use. And those linguistic patterns are the language of residents. That's what presidents use to convince people, to deliver the message, and to sound charming. They mesmerize people. So let's say the next sentence we have is a person tells you that everyone always criticizes them. Now you can use a different linguistic pattern. Let's use, for example, chunking down. You can use it, and it will be also, guys, when you use chunking down, you use chunk down in any way. So for example, let me give you an example. So for example, they complain that everyone criticizes them. Chunking down here, basically from a positive perspective, is going to look like,
tell me, how exactly are they criticizing you? How can you be sure that it's always you or always the criticism? Like you're trying to channel their thoughts and telling them, like, how exactly did they know it?
You are the victim, and you will be criticized. Daily and always. You are the victim, yes.
Exactly. Or you can ask them questions. How exactly are you being criticized? Negatively, right? With a negative connotation. How exactly are you playing the victim here? Right?
That's my opinion. Maybe you have a different way of answering. Basically, chunking down is you're trying to chunk the sentence down and focus on the separate parts differently. You're chunking things down, like you're having this microscope trying to find the truth. Here, for example, if person tells you from a position of like from a confident position, like everyone is criticizing them, they're telling you that everyone is criticizing them. Maybe they are willing to change, right? For example, they do a mistake, and then when you criticize them, they say, oh, everyone always criticizes me. So it's not a position of weakness, but it's a position of strength. They tell you this as a bullshit excuse. And so you tell them positively,
where exactly they criticize you, and how can we avoid the situation? Let's see exactly how and when and where they criticize you, and how exactly can we move away from this situation. Chunking down.
From a destructive perspective, when person gives you this bullshit excuse, they always criticize me, right? So you can basically say,
not only are people always criticizing you alone, but you're also going to be pulled up head on. You're going to be, or they're trying to pinpoint. But
I'm just giving you an example, guys, for you to know. It's a very dangerous. When people say that that's just who they are and that they can change, you can use another perspective, another language. You can use redefine, for example. Redefine is basically you redefine what they say. So, for example, that's just who they are, that they can change, and you redefine it. You say,
that's not who you are. That's who you want to be. That's who you choose to be.
That's the language of politicians. They use this language very often. They change the meaning. It's not a war, it's a defense. It's not rudeness, it's genuine care. It's not. Yeah, I think of making another video, guys, about the 14 language patterns, replying to all of those scenarios. Let me know what you think of this video, guys. If you liked it, that will be an incentive for me to know that I'm on the right track. You guys are interested in that and you want to know more. So thank you so much for today, and I will see you next time. If you're interested, guys, in human engineering, getting the cheat codes of the game of life, then I will be more than happy to see you in the Skool community. Just click the link below and check it out for yourself. I plan to make this community for $100. Since I say this right now, it means it's not yet. It's in the nascent stages, and if you join, you will be one of the first people to embrace and be part of this community. So guys, if you're interested in improving your communication, if you're interested in being more convincing, in being able to persuade, and knowing how to answer a question, a request, a blame, any type of thing, be sure to check Skool community. I am sure you will love it, and it begins by understanding yourself. Understand yourself, understand your strengths, and by understanding your strengths, you'll be able to read people like a book. If you're able to read people like a book without bragging about it, you will be able to understand their weaknesses, and this is a dangerous weapon of itself, not speaking of the linguistic patterns that presidents use when they reply or talk to people. So guys, this is a really powerful tool that I'm sharing with you, but I'm sharing it with you to help you grow personally in your journey, to find your purpose, to understand better, and to basically protect your energy and be grounded. You will basically know who you are, your strengths, and what is it likely that you can or want to achieve in life. You will get close to your purpose, to the thing you enjoy doing, and perhaps it will be the new beginning of the new journey or chapter in your life. Guys, I want to thank you so much for today. Make sure to check the Skool community that I run. I am sure you will love it. No questions asked. Thank you so much, guys. We'll see you.